Imagine being locked in a room, told you can't write, can't work, can't even leave, just sit, day after day. How long would it take before the walls around you begin to feel alive? Today, we'll explore the deeply unsettling tale of the Yellow Wallpaper, where confinement drives a woman to madness, and something far more sinister seems to lurk behind the walls. Our story is told through the eyes of a young woman, newly married, who has been diagnosed with a vague, nervous condition. Her husband, John, a physician, believes the best treatment is rest, absolute rest. No work, no creativity, no stimulation. And so, she's confined to a room in an old, sprawling mansion, cut off from the outside world. The room itself is an oppressive presence. The windows are barred, the bed is bolted to the floor, and the most unsettling feature of all, the yellow wallpaper. It's a strange, sickly color with chaotic, almost menacing patterns. As the days stretch on, the narrator's growing obsession with the wallpaper intensifies. She begins to see more than just an ugly pattern. There's something lurking beneath, something alive. As the narrator's condition worsens, her journal entries grow more frantic. She becomes convinced that there's a woman trapped behind the wallpaper, creeping and crawling through the twisted patterns. This woman, she believes, is trying to break free. The isolation and confinement feed her growing paranoia. She tries to share her fears with John, but he dismisses her concerns, belittling her feelings as mere nervousness. He insists that the treatment is working and that she mustn't trust her own mind. Left with no outlet, she spirals deeper into her obsession, spending hours staring at the wallpaper, tracing its patterns, and watching the woman behind it move. Time becomes meaningless in her prison. Day and night blur together as she watches the wallpaper change with the light. She becomes convinced that the woman inside is creeping around the room at night, trying to escape the confines of the paper. And soon, the narrator begins to see herself as part of this strange, imprisoned figure. She feels the woman's desperation and identifies with her plight. Her thoughts grow increasingly erratic, yet no one notices. No one listens. John continues to treat her as a child, invalidating her every concern. The narrator realizes that the only way to escape her mental prison is to free the woman in the wallpaper. But as her grip on reality loosens, the line between the woman behind the wallpaper and herself begins to blur. In a final burst of madness, the narrator tears at the wallpaper, desperate to set the woman inside free. She locks herself in the room, ripping and clawing at the walls, convinced that she has liberated the figure trapped within. When John finally breaks into the room, he finds her crawling on the floor, circling the room like the woman she believed she was helping. In the end, we realize that the narrator has descended fully into madness, becoming the very thing she feared, the woman trapped behind the wallpaper. John faints at the sight of her, leaving her to continue her slow, creeping journey around the room, a prisoner in her own mind. The Yellow Wallpaper is a chilling exploration of isolation, mental illness, and the consequences of being silenced. It's a story that lingers long after you finish it, with its claustrophobic atmosphere and slow descent into madness. If you're ready for a psychological horror that leaves you questioning the fragility of the mind, dive into this haunting tale by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. And remember, sometimes the greatest terrors aren't outside, but in the walls around us.